Hi, girls. I'm just going to try to do like a quick burst story before I forget. And I can't sleep right now. It's like so weird. I should be sleeping because Theo's sleeping. Let me just give you a peek. He is just, okay, I'm not really good at this. So cute. And just look at all that blonde hair. He's so cute. Okay. Can't even handle it. So I look extra pale because I lost about as much blood as you can lose safely. So I'm a little low on iron. So Scott's out getting me some iron help. And I'm just kind of resting. So it's nice. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to share before I forget. So, funny thing, my friend was over the other day, and she's kind of a new friend actually. And I was holding her newborn son. And he was just so sweet, so cute. And we were outside with the kids and just hanging out. And I was holding him. And I think all the lovey-dovey hormones from holding him like made my water break. And this has never happened to me before, pushing. So just, I was sitting on a chair and all of a sudden, all this warm liquid was gushing out of me. And it was so surprising. So I said to my friend, oh my goodness, liquid is leaking out of me. And I was like, just look at it. What color is it? Just to make sure it wasn't like something scary. Sure enough, it was just my water was breaking just so much. Which is funny because, it's been summer really hot and I'm always so concerned that I'm getting dehydrated. And I'm like trying to stay hydrated so my amniotic fluid was enough. Well, sure enough, it was enough. So, and I went upstairs and called my mother-in-law to come get our girls right away because I thought, I have no idea how fast this is going to go. Like, I could have a baby in my arms in an hour. This has never happened before. So I just, like, all of a sudden got into game mode. But it was really awkward because I had wet pants. My shorts were all wet. And I was, like, dripping. So I was, like, trying to get, all of a sudden I wanted to take care of all these things. But needed to take care of that situation, too. So it was funny. I told Scott. And so he tried to wrap up some work real fast. And, anyways, so that was really just kind of funny. My mother-in-law came and my friend was here and just kind of got going and helped kind of it was just really funny. So, yeah, and I called a couple of my dear friends who have had babies before and who've had the experience with water breaking and was curious about like what I could expect. So, just kind of wanted to talk through it a little, get kind of pepped up, get kind of ready because when your water breaks, it's coming. So that was at 2:30 in the afternoon, and the girls took off about 3 with their grandmother to spend the night. So they had a wonderful day with her and spent the night, and it was really special because Scott, oh, Theo was like doing a sad face. It's okay, baby. Um, Scott had to type some things, so I just tried to relax. It was hard because I was thinking all these things I could do, so before the midwives came and all this stuff. So I did some of those things, but then I was just trying to relax and just rest because I didn't know how long of a night it would be. But I didn't like sleep. I just kind of laid down for a little bit and took a shower and did that. And then I think at some point Scott stopped working and we kind of hung out. And I wasn't really having any big contractions, just maybe a little bit, but really nothing for a few hours. And so finally I called my friend Jen and said, what would you do if you were me? And she's like, well, you're not going to be able to sleep tonight. I mean, your water broke. You're going to be thinking about this. So why don't you just like bring it on? Go on a walk, girlfriend. So at like 7:30 or something, Scott and I walked to CVS. I got a new toothbrush. I thought that would be a good investment. I don't know why. I was like, I got to get a new toothbrush. And my contractions were like picked up big time on this walk and totally picked up for like every 3 minutes or something crazy. We got home and they completely stopped for a whole hour. And I thought, I was tempted to be kind of nervous about that. Like, oh no, is this going to be long and drawn out? Like, this is so different than what I expected. But I just like got this feeling. Like, I'm not saying the Lord like said to me exactly, but just like this feeling that the Lord was going to give me a gentle birth because I was like so concerned because my last birth was so intense. And I think I like kind of had a lot of fear the day before. And then just talking to 3 of my friends, like after the water broke and just kind of talking with them. And I just felt like this peace, like, no, I think the Lord is just going to give me a gentle birth. And so when everything slowed down for an hour after that walk, I realized like my body is just like taking a break and it's going to pick up again and it's just doing what it needs to do. And this is just going to be a different story than what Sophie's birth was. And sure enough, I mean, I just was kind of quiet for an hour, nothing. And then Scott and I watched an Office episode, actually the one where Astrid was born, just a baby one. So it was just kind of funny because I was like, honey, I don't want to watch anything serious. I just want to laugh and watch something funny. So we watched that. There were some contractions. Some I even had to stand like while watching the show and kind of sway through, but nothing big. And then by this time, so I guess at some point we probably ate some dinner or some kind of food, but at 9:45, I remember I texted my midwife and I'm like, what should I do? Should I go to bed? Should I try to go to bed? I mean, it's bedtime. Or should I, what? And she's like, if I were you, I would just go to bed. And she said, lay on your left side with your left leg straight and your right leg kind of propped up, and that will help baby get an optimal position for the birth. And sure enough, I'm in bed. Scott and I are reading our books and just kind of relaxing. And it was right before the day before our anniversary. But I also had this also just was so grateful for the sweet time that we had, like all these hours together before the baby was born. Just me and him, like it wasn't this dramatic, fast thing. The kids were in such good hands. We're so happy with my mother-in-law. So it was just like this sweet time, like reading and chatting and like, oh, we're going to be celebrating, this time 8 years ago, we were at our rehearsal dinner and it was just really special. And then, I lie down and then sure enough, things picked up. So I was resting and then I had to get up and kind of sway through contractions. And then I had to get to where I was like, Scott, I think I need some help. I think I need like some counter pressure on my back. And it probably was, I don't know, so it was like 9:30, 9:45 when I texted her. And I think I called her at 10 or 10:45 to come. I texted her. I said, I think I'm ready for you to be here because it wasn't the most intense thing ever. Like I wasn't having contractions every minute, but I just had this feeling, like I knew it would take her 20 minutes to get here. I just wanted her in our house, her and the student midwife in our house. Like I thought, even if they're downstairs, like in the kitchen having a coffee, or one of them could sleep in Ellie's bed, one could sleep on the couch. I just would rather them be here because I don't know. I just had this feeling. So the student midwife lives a little closer. So she got here about 10:55, checked my blood pressure, checked the baby. He was good. He was just great. And the midwife got here at 11:05 and they set up our room, and our room's kind of small. So once they were done setting up and they kind of sat down, they were quiet and we had music on by this point. We had music on and candles. They sat there, but I was a little bit just felt watched kind of a little bit, even though I felt completely safe and comfortable with them. But I was like, oh, man, this could go on another few hours. It's not very comfortable sitting on our floor. And I was having some intense contractions, really, really intense, but they were only coming, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 minutes apart or something, or maybe more often, but it just wasn't, I didn't feel like I was so close. So I was like, if you guys want to go downstairs and just be more comfortable, you can. They were like, okay. I didn't want to say I need space, but I didn't want them to be uncomfortable. They're like, well, we can listen for you and hear the sounds you're making and know where you're at. And sure enough, they went downstairs and I think I had 2 more contractions. And then I was like, I'm feeling pushy. I felt like I knew I was going through transition. There was one contraction when they were in the room. I was like, I think I just opened up a centimeter. I just know. I guess third time around, you just kind of know. And when you just are in tune with these things, I don't know, I could just feel it. But it was so peaceful and gentle because this is I was in transition at this point, but I was still getting breaks, 3-4 minute breaks. It was incredible. So I was kind of could I really be, is this really transition? But I knew emotionally I was getting there because I thought an epidural would be nice. I've never had epidural, but that sounds really nice. I think I could go for epidural right now. So I knew I was really, or when I was getting to the point where I was I don't know if I want to, what am I doing? Why would I do this to myself again? So I knew emotionally, okay, I'm getting there. And so anyways, yeah, there were 2 contractions that they were downstairs. I was like, can you guys come back up? I'm feeling pushy. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, the baby was born. So, I pushed for about 15 minutes. So it was 15 minutes of descent. So I could feel though, the pushing, opening up my cervix more. So I don't think I was fully dilated. I think it opened it up more. I was standing up They were behind me. I was facing the bed and like leaning on the bed. And Scott this whole time was putting counter pressure on me. I recall before when I was pushing, I didn't really need it anymore. But this time I did. And I even tried to like turn around so he would be behind me and kind of support me. And I did not want that, which is funny because that's what I've done the last two times. But I didn't want that. So the midwives were actually behind me. So I was like on the ground, like, what a view. Like, I'm sorry, guys. So they had kind of a mirror under me when I was pushing so they could see him descending. And it was pretty good, 15 minutes. So it was like slow enough that it was pretty gentle. They had compresses on me that, he could come out without tearing, but fast enough that, it wasn't all night. But so I did, and thankfully, I didn't have any tearing, just some scuffing, which is makes me sore too, but no tearing. So that's such a praise because he felt huge when he came out. Like when the biggest part of his head came through, I just let out a scream, like, ah, because I mean, it was so intense. And it felt like I could feel everything coming out. It felt like it took longer for him to come out. Like his head came and then the shoulder, and I could feel it. So, like, ouch, ouch, big time ouch. But then he was out, of course. So I sat on the ground with him for a little bit to get kind of reorganized. And he was just perfect right away. His heart tones were great. And I mean, he had all this hair. So cute. Like all his hair. We kind of thought it was red because it was wet. So, but I think it's blonde or strawberry blonde or something. But it's so fun. And, yeah, they're like, how big were your other babies? And I said like 7'11", 7'13". I don't really know because I know in kilos, 3.5, whatever that is in pounds and ounces. Who knows kilos? Um, and they're like, we think he's bigger. They both, and one of my midwives, by the way, is British. So she's like, I think he's bigger. He's such a doll. He's bigger, and just so cute with her accent. Um, and anyways, so, they let me have him for an hour, like chest to chest and just cuddle and cozy. And they were just wonderful. And, then they weighed him and he was 8 pounds, 4 ounces. So he's my biggest baby. And he was, I guess, technically 6 days early because he was born on July 18th, which is our wedding anniversary. That was so fun. And that was the day Ellie guessed that he was going to come. Like her and I and some friends had like guessed and had fun with it. And that was the day. So he's my earliest baby and my biggest baby and my first American born baby and my first boy and my first blonde baby. And he is doing so great. Praise the Lord. He's just like not latching so well, nursing so well. And just sweet, just so sweet. Oh, I'm so thankful. Just such a sweetie pie. Um, and the girls love him. Scott and I love him. We're having a good time. So I did lose some more blood than is preferred. So I was fine. Like I was just on the higher end of safe. And so that's why I look so kind of pale. And today I feel way more tired today than I remember at this point. So day 2 or whatever with the girls. And so that's probably part of it. A big part of it is probably the iron. So the midwife or the student midwife just came and checked on me. She's like, yeah, she looked under my eyes. I was like, I don't know that iron trick. So Scott's out right now getting me some stuff to try to help with that. And I'm just going to keep resting and trying to nourish my body. And that's all. So thanks for listening this long. Bye.